Hello and welcome back to our channel. My name is Gauri and this is one of the most requested topics on our channel. Every year, thousands of medical aspirants and parents ask the same question: is MBBS abroad actually a good decision or a costly mistake? So this video is for every medical aspirant who is confused, under pressure, or trying to choose the right path. Let me start by asking you a very simple question. If MBBS abroad was either the worst decision a student could ever make or a guaranteed shortcut to success, then how do you explain this? Why are thousands of Indian doctors today successfully practicing after studying abroad, and at the same time, thousands struggling after making the wrong choice? That's because the truth doesn't sit at extremes. It sits somewhere in the middle. Right now, students are confused. Social media shows only success stories. Many counselors talk about admissions but avoid risks. Parents are worried but they don't have complete information. Some people say MBBS abroad is fake. Others say India is impossible. Both statements are half-truths. So in this video, we're answering just one question, honestly and practically. Is MBBS abroad really worth it in 2026? This is not a sales video. This is a decision-making video. Now let's address one of the most important and often misunderstood aspects of studying MBBS abroad: FMGE and NEXT. FMGE is the Foreign Medical Graduate Examination, and upcoming National Exit Test are licensing exams required to practice medicine in India. If a student completes MBBS abroad and plans to work in India, clearing FMGE or NEXT is compulsory, regardless of the country or university. The average FMGE pass rate is around 20 to 30%, which clearly shows that success depends on early preparation and proper planning, not the country alone. These exams are not impossible, but they cannot be treated as a last-minute formality. Students who plan early and choose the right university perform significantly better. Understanding these realities before choosing MBBS abroad is essential for making an informed decision. Before we talk about countries, let's address the biggest fear up front. Around 70 to 80% students fail FMGE, but not because the country was bad. Well, they fail because FMGE preparation starts after graduation. Universities are chosen without curriculum alignment. Clinical years are taken lightly. Language preparation is ignored, and students believe degree mil jaye, baad mein dekh lenge. FMGE is not impossible, but it punishes poor planning brutally. Keep this in mind because everything else in this video connects it to all. Before we move any further, it is important to clear one of the biggest doubts students and parents have. Is MBBS abroad actually valid? The answer is yes, but with conditions. An MBBS degree obtained abroad is considered valid in India only if the student studies in a university approved by the National Medical Commission (NMC) and listed with recognized international medical bodies such as WHO and WFME. However, degree validity does not mean automatic permission to practice. If a student completes MBBS abroad and wants to practice medicine in India, clearing FMGE or the upcoming next examination is compulsory. This rule applies to all countries, whether the student studies in China, Russia, Georgia, Kazakhstan, the Philippines, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, or Europe. There are no country-based exemptions. This is not unique to India. Globally, medical practice works the same way. Countries such as the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and European nations require graduates, even the local ones, to clear licensing exams like USMLE, PLAB, AMC, or country-specific medical council exams before practicing. So when students ask whether MBBS abroad is valid globally, the correct understanding is this: the degree is valid, but licensing is mandatory everywhere in the world. Another important topic that creates unnecessary fear is gap years. Gap years are allowed for MBBS admissions both in India and abroad. Students often take gap years for reasons such as NEET preparations or repeat attempts, health-related issues, or academic planning or improvement. Medical universities do not reject students simply because of a gap year. What matters is that the gap is properly documented, genuine, and logically explained. As long as academic records are clear and documentation is in place, gap years do not affect admission eligibility, degree validity, or future licensing exams. So, if you have taken one or more gap years, it does not automatically put you in a disadvantage, provided everything is handled correctly. Important key points. I wanted to clear degree validity and gap year rules right at the beginning because these two doubts create the most fear. Once these are clear, it becomes much easier to objectively evaluate MBBS abroad as an option. I will tell you how to choose an MBBS university, the most critical decision. Before discussing countries, costs, or ranking, it's important to understand one thing clearly. In MBBS abroad, the university matters more than the country. Most licensing issues and career delays happen not because students choose the wrong country, but because they choose the wrong university within that country. Here are the non-negotiable checks every student must do. First, NMC compliance. The university must follow the latest National Medical Commission guidelines, including a minimum 5.5 to 6 year MBBS program with internship, recognized clinical training, and eligibility for FMGE or NEXT. If a university fails this, the degree may become invalid for India, no matter how popular or affordable it looks. Second, WHO and WFME listing. WHO or WFME listing confirms global recognition. But remember, WHO alone is not enough. It must always be combined with NMC approval. Third, government versus private universities. Government universities usually offer larger hospitals and better patient flow, while private universities may offer better infrastructure and smaller batches. Neither is automatically good or bad. What matters is knowing what kind of clinical exposure you are actually getting. Fourth, hospital affiliation. Always check which hospital the university is attached to, whether it's a government or private hospital, patient inflow, and whether students get hands-on training or only observation. Without strong hospital exposure, MBBS becomes largely theoretical. Fifth, student-teacher ratio. Large intakes with limited faculty lead to weak mentorship and poor exam preparation. Smaller batches with adequate faculty generally perform better in licensing exams. Sixth, clinical exposure timeline. Ask clearly from which year hospital training begins and whether exposure is continuous. Early clinical exposure directly affects FMGE and NEXT performance. Finally, watch out for red flags. Claims like no FMGE required, guaranteed license, unclear internships, unrealistically low fees, or promises of placements after MBBS should be treated as serious warning signs. Key takeaway: choosing the right MBBS university is not about brand names or social media hype. It's about regulations, hospitals, clinical exposure, and long-term career outcomes. One wrong university choice can cost years of students' career. Now let's talk about why you should and should not choose MBBS. MBBS abroad is neither a shortcut nor a compromise. It's a parallel medical education pathway that works well only for specific student profiles. Understanding who should and should not choose this route is essential before making a decision. MBBS abroad is suitable for students who are academically capable but unable to secure a government medical seat in India due to intense competition. Many such students have strong foundations in biology and science but miss admission by a narrow margin. For them, MBBS abroad offers a legitimate second pathway provided they remain disciplined and academically committed. This route is not easy medicine and demands the same seriousness as studying in India. It is also a practical option for students who cannot afford private medical colleges in India, where fees often range from 70 lakh to over 1 crore rupees. Many foreign medical universities operate under government-funded or regulated systems, offering predictable costs and quality education at an overall lower expense, without compromising academic standards when chosen carefully. Students who perform well in structured academic environments tend tend to adapt better abroad. Medical universities follow fixed curricula, mandatory attendance, and continuous assessments, which suit students who are organized and consistent. MBBS abroad is best suited for students who think long-term about their medical careers and accept that licensing exams such as FMGE or NEXT are part of the journey. Those who plan early and stay consistent generally achieve better outcomes. Additionally, students who are open to international exposure and independent living often gain maturity, adaptability, and broader clinical perspective by studying abroad. However, MBBS abroad is not suitable for everyone. Students who expect quick success, guaranteed placements, or fast financial returns should not choose this pathway. Medicine does not offer shortcuts, regardless of where it is studied. It is also unsuitable for students who are unwilling to face licensing examinations, are pursuing medicine purely due to parental pressure, or lack discipline and self-directed learning habits. The MBBS degree itself is not excessively difficult. Poor consistency, weak planning, and unrealistic expectations create difficulty. Let's stop pretending all countries are equal. Best budget-friendly countries are Kazakhstan, Russia. Best balance of return on investment plus exposure is Georgia and China. Premium and high academic reputation is Malaysia and Sri Lanka. Countries become bad only when students choose wrong universities, language preparation is ignored, and FMGE planning is skipped. Now let's go deep country by country. Before going country by country, it is extremely important to clearly understand how MBBS abroad costs are calculated, because this is where most confusion happens. Whenever we talk about cost in this video, we are referring to the total cost of the complete MBBS degree, not just the yearly tuition fee. This total cost includes tuition, basic accommodation, and living expense over the entire duration of the course. Most MBBS programs abroad are either 5.5 years or 6 years long, depending on the country and internship structure. So instead of asking kitna per year hai, the more important question is complete degree kitne saal ki hai or total cost kya hai. Now with that clarity, let's go country by country and understand duration, total cost, per year average, and universities properly.
First, China. China offers a government-regulated medical education system with strong academic and modern hospitals. Duration 6 years, and the total cost 35 to 45 lakh rupees. Best for students who are disciplined and ready to handle Mandarin during clinical years.
Second, Georgia, one of the most popular choices for Indian students due to English medium teaching and European exposure. Duration 6 years. Total cost 40 to 55 lakh rupees, a balanced option with good environment and decent ROI.
Third, Kazakhstan, chosen mainly for its low cost and early admissions. Duration 5 to 6 years, and the total cost 25 to 35 lakh rupees. Works well for self-motivated students who start FMG prep early. And the premium option, Malaysia and Sri Lanka. These are academically premium destinations with strong global recognition. Sri Lanka has highly competitive public universities with excellent clinical training. These are chosen more for quality and global career goals, not affordability. Students also consider other destinations based on specific goals. UK pathway programs for PLAB aspirants, European countries like Poland and Hungary for EU recognized degrees, Philippines for students targeting USMLE due to its American influence curriculum. These options are chosen not for affordability but for academic alignment, career goals, and long-term return on investment.
One of the most important questions students ask is MBBS abroad ke baad kya? The reality is that MBBS abroad does not limit career options. Instead, it opens multiple structured pathways, provided students understand the process and plan accordingly. Let's look at these options one by one. First, practice in your home country, India or any home nation. The most common pathway for Indian students is returning home to practice medicine. After completing MBBS from an NMC-approved universities, students must clear FMGE or upcoming NEXT examination. Once licensed, First, they can work in government hospitals, join private hospitals, open private clinics as per state regulations, prepare for postgraduate entrance exams. This pathway mirrors the Indian MBBS route with the additional step of licensing. Second option, postgraduate options abroad. Many students choose to continue their medical careers internationally. Foreign medical graduates can apply for residency and PG training abroad, provided they qualify the required licensing exams. Countries such as the USA, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and parts of Europe accept foreign graduates through standardized processes. These routes are competitive but achievable with early preparation and strong academic performance. Third option, USMLE, PLAB, AMC pathways. Some of the most well-known international licensing routes include USMLE, which is for USA, allows entry into residency programs in the United States, requires strong academic scores, clinical exposure, and structured preparation. Second, PLAB, UK, enables doctors to register with the General Medical Council and work in the UK healthcare system. Third, AMC, allows medical graduates to pursue practice or train in Australia after clearing assessment stages. These pathways are country-specific but globally respected, and they reward early planning rather than last-minute decisions. Fourth, hospital jobs versus academics. Not every MBBS graduate chooses a purely clinical role. Some doctors prefer hospital-based roles with fixed schedules, teaching positions after meeting eligibility criteria, academic careers involving mentoring and training. Academic roles typically require additional qualifications or specializations, but they offer long-term stability and institutional growth. Fifth, research, public health, and non-clinical roles. MBBS also opens door beyond direct patient care. Graduates move into medical and clinical research, public health and epidemiology, healthcare administration and hospital management, pharmaceutical and clinical trial organizations, and international health agencies and NGOs. These roles may require further study such as MPH or research degrees, but they provide impact-driven and globally relevant careers. MBBS abroad does not lock you in one path. It gives you a medical foundation, and what you build on top of it depends on your planning, interests, and long-term goals. After understanding regulations, cost, countries, universities, licensing exams, and career pathways, we can now answer the central question of this video. Yes, MBBS abroad is worth it, but only under very specific conditions. MBBS abroad works well for students who are academically capable, who accept that licensing examinations such as FMGE or NEXT are part of the journey, and who are willing to plan their careers long-term rather than looking for shortcuts. It is worth it for students who carefully select NMC-compliant universities, understand the total cost and duration of degree, and take clinical training seriously from the early years. However, MBBS abroad is not worth it for students who expect guaranteed placements, want quick financial returns, or believe that studying abroad automatically makes the process easier. The country alone does not decide success. The university, the students' discipline, and the quality of planning do. This is exactly where the student helpline comes in. We do not function as admission agents. We work as long-term academic and career advisors, helping students and parents make regulation-safe, outcome-focused decisions. We begin with one-on-one personalized counseling where we understand academic background, need status, budget range, risk tolerance, long-term career goals. Based on this, we recommend only NMC-compliant countries and universities that align with the student's profile, not trends or shortcuts. We provide complete document preparation support, including first, statement of purpose, second, letter of recommendation, third, cover letters, and fourth, academic and profile structuring. These documents are critical for structured admissions and future licensing pathways. Our support continues beyond admission. We assist students with accommodation planning, ensuring safe student-friendly housing near universities and hospitals, end-to-end visa assistance, including documentation, financial proofs, interview preparation, and post-visa formalities. Most importantly, we focus on long-term outcomes, not just getting students abroad. That includes early FMGE, next awareness, academic timelines, and exam planning, so students are not left confused after graduation. Our goal is not just to help students study MBBS abroad. Our goal is to help them return as confident, eligible, and employable doctors. If you are considering MBBS abroad and want honest, regulation-based guidance, clear country and university comparison, long-term career-focused planning, you can connect with the Student Helpline, comment MBBS, or book a free one-on-one guidance session, because in medical education, the wrong guidance costs more than money. It costs years. I repeat, wrong information costs more than money. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.